Aaron, we're gonna get a picture.
Lee, you're about to get soaked.
Is everybody ready? We're gonna get a picture. There we go. Woo!
You did that on
Snap.
purpose, didn't you?
You can joke. Now you got some water to play in. Hey, there's Pete, GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day. And here we are, first week of July, and the yard's looking pretty good. I just put out my July 4th video, and man, I'm humbled and appreciative of all the really cool comments we got on that. Like I said in the video, I just wanted to make the video, man, to say thank you to everybody that's ever had anything to do with our American freedom. It's something to cherish for sure. In the process of making that video, I was extra rough on the yard. I mowed it way more than I would typically mow. And so the yard's a little, in my opinion, by my standards, the yard's a little, you know, on the so-so side. So I'm gonna do some things today, and I'm gonna kind of bring it back to life. And now these are things you might not typically do during the first week of July to a cool season turf. So you can just take this video for what it's worth, but I'm just going to show you how I do this in the yard. I'm going to aerate it today, and I've been aerating my yard in the middle of the summer, or at least 2 or 3 times during the course of the growing season, spring up until right before aerating seeding. I've been doing that for a couple of years now, or ever since I owned aerators. And really the only way I do it is to actually get more water down into the root system to open the ground up a little bit. I'm in no way worried about weeds coming in. My turf's way too thick for that. Of course, you're gonna get typical stuff on occasion, but I'm not worried about an outbreak of weeds simply because I'm you know, the pre-emergent barrier is probably gone by now, more than likely. So let's get with it. I'll show you what I do. Now, you know, I've been using humic acid on the yard for a long time. Recently, in the past year or so, got hooked up with Greene County, and of course we sell those products to DIY guys, and they put together what's called a compaction cure. That is to help relieve compaction in the soil. And of course I've been running that for a while, even before Greene County, not their specific product, but just humic acid in general, and it has decreased my compaction in my yard tremendously, a lot. The ground's actually soft when you walk on it. It's kind of weird when you're walking on my yard, it's kind of soft. But the deal, here's the deal. I got some anonymous email. I know you saw that video that I made with the soil probe, running at that 32 inches, 36 inches, something like that, and just easily pushing it all the way down, sinking it. Well, I got some anonymous emails. I don't know who the folks are, I don't care. They give me a pretty hard time on that, accusing me of camera tricks and all that kind of thing. Well, I use an iPhone. What I'm filming with now, that's the second iPhone I have. And then here's my work iPhone. So I do all my editing with iPhones and a drone, and I use iMovie on the iPhone. I don't have expensive video stuff. I just use a phone, and I got a selfie stick right here I'm holding. Look, see, I'm holding a stick. I can't actually do a camera trick with an iPhone. I mean, if you can, I don't know how to do it. So I got a couple of buddies that made a trip from Ohio, and they want to show you something. Check this out. All right, so I'm here with 2 of my buddies, Aaron and Isaac, and I've had a lot of people ask me about this soil probe thing, sticking it in the ground. Say, hey Pete, I'm not sure about that. That's North Carolina red clay, and you're shoving that thing 36 inches in the ground. Well, I got some, they gonna help me. Go ahead, guys, show them.
So, since I'm the weakest one here.
So Isaac's the weakest one. See there?
Nothing.
Now, Aaron, you move over a little bit, and we're gonna let Aaron do it too.
Where do you want me to do it?
Pick a spot, I don't care.
All right,
Random.
let's go right over here.
That is incredible, Pete.
There you go.
That's
something.
That's ridiculous. I used to live in Spartanburg,
Yeah.
and I had soil just like around here.
Yeah.
There's no possible way.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
There's no way people would believe this.
Oh yeah, no,
There's no way you would.
That's
yeah.
incredible.
But it's
that's crazy, isn't
it's
it?
laughable.
Yeah, I got pounded with emails from one of those videos said hey man, you're crazy. You can't do that. I'm like,
That's absurd. Yeah.
well, look here.
Did not expect that at all.
This comes from years of using humic acid.
Wow.
That's why I'm able to
Yeah,
do
rock.
this. It's probably a rock right there.
Or a sprinkler head. Don't mind me.
Yeah, that's right. He just hit one of my sprinkler heads. There you go.
That's weird. That's almost weird, Pete.
Yeah.
That's like just
Feel like you're
pushing it into a
North
sponge.
Carolina red
That's
clay.
like a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Wow.
that doesn't even feel right.
They're having fun
And
now.
I've got weak office hands here. I'm not putting much force behind that. That's incredible.
Now, of course, I am irrigated. Y'all know that by now, and I water properly, but there's a lot of yards out there that do have irrigation and you can't do this. So that it's just, I'm just making a statement that, hey, it's proof in the pudding, humic acid works. All right, so I've had a lot of folks ask, what's the difference in plugging, aerating, aerifying, core aerator? It's so many different things you can call this. Typically, when you're talking about plugging the yard or core aeration, you use a machine that will actually remove a core of dirt from the yard. It's going to physically take that core out, leave it laying on top of the ground like that. It rains, washes the dirt back in the ground. An aerator is totally and completely different. 100% night and day difference. There's no comparison in the two. It's a totally and completely different machine. These tines vibrate back and forth very violently, and they do all their work under the ground. Okay, they don't disturb any of this up here. They work under the ground, and they're intended to fracture the soil, meaning the entire width of this aerator head, the ground up under it gets broken up and loosened up. Well, why is that important? Well, instead of taking a bunch of plugs out of the ground every 8 or 10 inches apart, the entire surface, the entire area of the yard gets broken up and fractured. That way your nutrients, your fertilizer, your RGS, your aerate, your whatever you're putting down, your grass seed, whatever it is, can get into the ground much, much easier, not to mention your water. That's the most important thing. That's why I'm doing this today, is so that I'm gonna water all these products in immediately, and I want them immediately to get down in the ground. And if I've got a crust or a layer of unbroken dirt, it just takes a little longer for those products to get in. So by aerating, they're basically gonna get into the ground immediately. All right, so next steps, I'm gonna feed the yard. And of course that totally and completely goes against everything everybody's ever taught you, but I don't follow rules. This is not a synthetic fertilizer. Okay, that's how I'm kind of getting away with this. I would not dare go out and hit my yard with a dose of synthetic fertilizer right now, especially quick release nitrogen, that kind of thing. I'm not trying to make it grow like crazy. I'm just trying to bring it back, put a little extra life back into the yard, because I've been so hard on it over the course of the last month. So this is a natural organic fertilizer. So my Academy members are getting ready to put down their Milorganite application coming up here pretty soon. What? What did you just say? A Milo app? Yeah. But you're a hater, Pete. No, I'm not, actually. I told y'all from the beginning, I keep getting beat up on my test plot. Okay, my little test I'm doing with Milo out there. And some folks are beating me up on that, saying you're a hater of Milo. Well, no, I'm not, actually. It's a good fertilizer. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just doing my thing back here. I want to see how it reacts. And when we're done with all that, I'll make my point on the whole entire video series. But we've got a Milorganite application in the Academy program. It's been there. So those guys and gals will be making that app here pretty soon. But now this is a different organic natural fertilizer. And of course I can't tell you what it is. Please don't ask me, so I'm not going to tell you. Simply for one reason, is this is the very first time I've ever used it, ever. Typically I would go with it on the test plot, but I mean, you know, my yard's kind of beat up right now, so I'm going to try to throw it on my yard and see what happens. And I don't put my name, I don't attach my name to anything. I don't try first. So that's why I'm going to try it out and see what kind of response we got. Then we'll talk about it. Oh, look at those big chunks of humate in there. Humate. This is the granular form of humic acid, pretty much. So now one thing I'm able to do here is, as soon as I applied the liquids, okay, the Aerate RGS Humic 12, I'm watering immediately. Yeah, it's middle of the day. I want to get this watered in very well. So for the next about 3 days, I'm going to go on a watering binge. Okay, in the next 3 days, I'm going to try and mimic about 3 inches of rain. Remember, I just opened the ground up with the aerator, and I do not at all want it to dry out suddenly. Okay, so I need to keep the ground wet. Of course, that's going to water in the fertilizer and activate it, get it going. It's going to water in the Green County products, get them going, and just going to give the yard an extra boost of water of what it needs right now to kind of get it back on track. And then once those 3 days are up, then I will I'll go back to routine watering. Now, one thing with me is you'll get is I'm gonna be pretty forthright and straight up with you with all the good things, things that you might not typically see done in a yard, and then I'm gonna also show you my screw ups. And this is a classic example of being very, very busy and not being focused. Okay, this is why I tell folks to focus. And then here I go losing focus. I could not figure out what was going on with this area for the life of me until I ran the aerator over it, and then a light bulb went on. This section here was considerably drier and harder than the rest of the ground. Well, I mean, the yard isn't hard, but it was just drier, considerably. Matter of fact, I saw a little dust kick up right there. So I got thinking, I was like, oh crap. I remembered back in the spring when we were getting copious amounts of rain, this head and that head, I cut them off. The Hunter I-20 heads, you have the ability to turn an individual head off. So I cut these off while it was raining real bad, because historically this area of turf right here, this area of ground holds water pretty dang good. So I just cut the heads back on. There you go. Chalk one up for stupid. So hey, there you go. Got it clean cut, got it aerated. Little organic fertilizer down. I put that down after the aeration, that way it'll kind of get down in the holes and stuff like that and kind of start off in the ground where it needs to be. Put down my compaction cure. So I've done the RGS 3 ounces 1,000, Aerate 9 ounces 1,000, and the Humic 12. I'm gonna surprise you with this. I put 2.5 gallons on the yard, which is equivalent to about 18 or 19 ounces 1,000. This is and to kind of recap this video, this is a very, very, what's the good word I'm looking for? What's the word? I can't think of the word I want to use. Unique. This is a very unique circumstance, okay? Simply because I just beat my yard all to pieces making a July 4th video, and there's 2.5 months left of summer before I overseed, aerate and seed. So I got to get my yard back to a certain level. Do I at all recommend you go out and do this? The answer is no, I do not. Simply because, like I said, this is a very unique situation. If your yard's stressed out real bad from the heat and stuff, I wouldn't even consider feeding it a fertilizer and trying to push growth. Whether it be a Milo or this stuff I'm using, a synthetic or whatever, I just wouldn't use a fertilizer when the grass is stressed out. It's stressed out because it doesn't have no water, and if you're trying to fertilize it and you get lucky and get a little shower of rain, it's going to activate that fert and it's going to tell the grass to grow, and the grass is stressed, it don't want to grow. Okay, it's trying to protect itself right now. So be very cautious with fertilizer of any sort during the summer. If you're well irrigated, yeah, you can go out with a Milorganite or a organic fert or something like that, and you know, just kind of give it a little taste of food. Not a big deal, it's not going to hurt anything. Something else, I'm on a real good fungicide program on this yard, so I will also probably in the next couple of days, I'm about due for my next preventative fungicide. I'll get that put down. And the aerator. Should you aerate your yard? Well, I don't know. I mean, I've been doing it for, I didn't do it just because there's a Ventrac on the trailer. I've got 3 other aerators. I've had them for years, several years now, and I've always done this to my yard ever since I owned an aerator. And it does make a big difference in the summer. Like I said, it opens that ground up so that I can get everything down into the dirt quickly, you know, just like that. So everything gets activated and I can turn the yard back to the own position. So I already know somebody's going to ask me, what about a plugger? Would you aerate with a core plugger during the summer? Well, chances are I wouldn't dare do that, because not in the cool season turf, simply because I don't want all those little dog turds in the yard. It's that simple. So hey, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll give you an update in a couple of weeks on the yard and see kind of the results we're getting out of this little process I done, and then you can make the decision for yourself for next year. Do you want to do something like this? Yes or no? It's totally up to you. I'm just having fun making videos showing you all this cool stuff. Hey, get your yard back right.